Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We'll wait a few more minutes. Good morning. Good morning.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm camping, so I don't know if the internet will be in and out, so just letting you guys know
Thank you. Thank you, Jodeci.
this time. So I don't know how to type and stuff.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for letting me know.
Of course.
Hold on, Jodeci. Where are you camping at?
It's the Ice House Reservoir. It's near Placerville, and it's
Cool, cool. Is it pretty cold up there? Pretty warm? Perfect?
at night it's freezing,
Oh.
but there's since we're closer to the sun, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But hot where you're sweating, and just where you're burning, your body.
Goodness.
Yeah, I already got burnt, and we've only been here a day, and I had sunscreen everything.
Oh, goodness. How long are you there for?
We're here until the 2nd.
Okay. Sounds
then
good.
I'm going up to Truckee for the 8th until the 8th.
Got it. We'll give it a few more minutes before we get started. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Perfect. We will go ahead and get started, and then we will, as students trickle in. Well, students trickle in as well, but we'll get started because I know that today we have a few things to cover. I want to make sure that I leave room for Q&A because I think that's what's really important today. Let's see here. But first and foremost, I want to check in. I want to check in with everyone just to see how your weekend was. Go ahead in the comment section if you can. I'm not sure what you're capable of doing on the comment section, but if you can do it in emojis, write down how you are, how your weekend was, how you're feeling right now, all of that in between, go ahead and start writing in the group chat. I'm hoping everyone had a chance to rest. Very busy, Linda and Melina, very busy weekend. Working, resting, Oregon. Jeliza, are you back in California or are you still in Oregon?
I got back last night, like around 9 o'clock.
Okay. Wild Irving. Working all weekend. Exhausting. A little mixture, yeah. I'm sure it was a little up and down for everyone. It was hot where I was at, so it was pretty warm. But it was crazy because it went from 100s to 80s within like just one day was 100, the next day was 80, and I was a little confused. But I loved it. Let's see here. Perfect. So thank you for checking in. Just wanted to check in. So I know that was your weekend, but how are you feeling this morning? Right now and this morning, how are you feeling? Energized? No, a little, what is it? Confused? Just tired? Anxious? Just tired? A lot of tired students, but thank you for joining me this morning. I really appreciate it. You have a long day ahead of you. No sleep yet. Okay, well, thank you for checking in again. I really appreciate it. Well, hopefully after today, you'll be able to just take some rest as well. So, okay, so with today's schedule, I had mentioned before that today we were going to talk a little bit more about just the things that we covered on Thursday, as well as some of the workshops that y'all attended. So one of the big pieces here is GE and degree overview. Let's see here. If you can, for your reaction, put a thumbs up. Did you attend Ku and Erica's degree in GE workshop? If you did, go ahead and put your thumbs up for me. Okay, so 2 of you did. And then for everyone else, like how comfortable are you with the degree and overview in a degree overview? Because I kind of went over it. Do we still have questions regarding it, concerns regarding it? Because I know that it was a lot. And I know I'm also asking a lot this morning at 9:07 a.m. to have you recap degree in GE to see if you have any questions, because I think that's really a foundation for us today. And of course, I'll take questions as we continue through this session as well. Any immediate questions as you were looking through your schedule, or maybe as you were reading through some of the degree and requirements, as maybe questions regarding the catalog or department website? If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Please just do like let's see here. I think we have the ability to do like your raise hand or even unmuting. Oh, raise your hand. Perfect. Jodeci, go ahead.
So I searched the catalog for the major I'm interested in, and like it brought up a couple of classes, and like I'm not sure if those are the classes like I can take to get there, or if it was like more of like this is what like just classes they offer.
Mm-hmm. What was the major that we're looking at?
Criminal justice and criminology.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I know that you might have a hard time showing and seeing this, but I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna look at it together, okay?
Thank you.
And this is gonna be very helpful for the other majors as well. So I'm gonna go back to SSU catalog. And then go down to programs by department. And then we're going to go to criminal CCJS, criminal justice. Okay, so as we see here, kind of going back to the degree requirements that we talked about here. And if you keep scrolling down, like these classes you're gonna hear them say major core requirements, and that means that these are all the courses that you need in your degree. And as you're reading through some of this, you'll see some words that says or, and so that tells you that you either take this one or that one. But ultimately, these are all the courses that you need for CCJS, okay? These are just the major core courses. So when you go back to your degree requirements here, you'll see it here. So those would be about 40 units.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, so as you're going through here, if it doesn't say or, then you know for sure that you need all of these. I think out of this one, if you're looking at here, is this one or that one, this or here, or here as well, or here. Actually, off you pick one from this list, and then these ones are required. So you're going to see a lot of this in some of the other majors that you're looking at. Is they're going to have a whole long list of courses, but you want to make sure that you read in between because some of them are or some of them are required. So you want to make sure of that. Sounds good, Jodeci?
Yes.
Okay. So again, this is a good tool to look at, especially as you're trying to understand a little bit better of what your major requires. Now, one thing I want to cover today is something called pre-enrollment. So pre-enrollment is something that we, so someone actually look at your schedule. Actually, let me unshare this. By raise of hand, how many of you, when I say pre-enrollment, how many of you understand what I mean by that? Just a thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, thank you, Skylar. So pre-enrollment, as you can see, I'm not sure, wait, okay, more questions. How many of you had a chance to look into your My SSU, your student center already? Okay, a few of you. Okay, so then let's wait till it thumbs disappear, ask another questions. And as you look to your student center, how many of you saw that you were already registered for some classes? Okay, so a few of you. Okay. Ultimately, all of you should have been pre-enrolled in some classes. And that's really what pre-enrollment is. It's where the department, sometimes it's a department, or in your case, it's Porta, your program that you're in, pre-registered you in required courses that you have to take for the semester. So in this case, for your cohort, you should have been pre-enrolled in 3 courses, okay? And if you're not, I'm hoping that they're still they're still on the back end, still enrolling you into these courses. And if they didn't, that's okay. When we do registration on Wednesday, I'll make sure to help you to make sure that you're getting to the classes that you need. Okay. So I don't have a good example here to show you, but I'm going to show you. Let's see here. Who would? Let's see. I am going to go to share my screen again, and we're going to go look at a student. So in case you haven't logged into your student center yet, this is how you go into your student center. You go to your Sonoma State homepage, log in here, and then you see the tiles here, a bunch of tiles here. And this is where you also access your Canvas page. We just want to go to your My SSU, and this is where you will do your registrations, okay? So what you see and what I see are gonna look a little bit different, okay? Because I have the advisor view versus you have a student view. So then I am going to click on, actually I have to cancel out because I think the next screen is gonna show students and I can't show you that. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna pull up my student named Sally Sonoma. It's not a real student. It's just a student that we use to kind of give us an example of how a student center would look like. So let me share my screen again. Okay, so this is Sally Sonoma. Okay, she is our student today. And this is kind of how this is how your student center is going to look like. And what you'll see here is right here, you should already be enrolled in 3 courses. And if you want to write this down, I think it'll be good to know what courses to look forward to or to see which ones you're in. You should be registered for EDEC 160A, English and English course, English 101, and then a math course, okay? And those are the 3 courses that you should be pre-enrolled in. So then now my question is to all of you, how many of you have all 3 courses listed in your MySSU? And actually, as I'm talking about this, if you want to, go ahead and go to your MySSU as well and check it out to see what you have as well. Irving, you're in 4. What's your 4th one? Got it. Makes sense. And then the unit. Sounds good. Irving, yours is going to be a little bit different because your major requires an FLC, okay, a different FLC. So then this is going to be, oh, that's a good example. I have 6. Natalie, you have 6. Okay, that's different. Let's see here. Let's talk basics first, and then I definitely want to check in with you, Irving, and check in with you, Natalie, to see what's on your schedule, okay? But typically, generally, most of you should be enrolled in 3 courses, and that should be your EDEC, your English, and your math. Now, some of you, depending on your major, you're going to be registered for a different FLC, a freshman learning community, because that's what an EDEC 160A is. It's a year-long stretch program. For you, it's going to be a cohort-based, meaning that everyone in this cohort right now is going to be in EDEC 160A. So you'll be in class together. The only exception is if the major that you're in requires a different FLC. So for example, our chemistry and biochemistry students, you have a required FLC, and that's Chem 120A and Chem 120B, as well as Unit 102. So those 2 courses are attached. So some of you might see that you are either not enrolled in EDEC 160A or you're enrolled in a different class. So I know that, Hutchins students are not going to be in EDEC 160A. Our biochemistry students are not going to be in it. You might see, for example, if you're a pre-business major, you might see that you have been pre-enrolled in Econ 204 or 205, one of those, only because your department requires you to take it within your first year. So although generally speaking, some of your schedules are going to look really similar, a lot of you are going to look different, and that's going to be based on the major that you're in, okay? So if you're not enrolled in any math or English, that's definitely something that I want y'all to check in with me, because I want to make sure that we cover those bases of why is it that you're not in English 101. I was just waiting for them to register you for it on the back end, and I think that's what we want to do. Also, another question I have for you is, did any of you take an AP English, AP Math course during high school? Yes. If you just do a thumbs up if you did. And if you did, another question to ask yourself is whether or not you took the exam and what your score was for the exam. Okay, so that's going to be really important, because I want you to meet with me so we can figure out what your scores are for the the AP exam. Okay, so let's see here. With that, so I'm sure there's a lot of questions, because I'm looking at the chat, and there's some of you that are not enrolled in anything, some of you that are enrolled in English, and that's definitely something that I want to check in with. Okay, so let's see. Not enrolled in English, not enrolled. I'm not enrolled in English either. Okay, so that's something good for me to know. So if that's the case, let's see here. Because the next time I see you all will be July 1st. So a lot of these class questions, I want to make sure that we cover it either today or tomorrow, so that July 1st, we can figure out what the game plan is for registration, okay? But with that being said, we'll cover that later, because I want to make sure that y'all come to my drop-ins from 1 to 5 today, so we can cover that. But with that being said, let me go back to the student center here. But yes, this is where your classes are going to be housed. Make sure that you don't have any hold on your account, because if you have any holds on your account right now, then you won't be able to register on July 4th. And that we want to make sure you register, as well as if you have anything on your to-do list, we want to make sure that you try to cover that as soon as you can. Again, we talked about the advisors already, but you can always access your advisors here. For Sally, she doesn't have one, so she's being referred to the Advising and Transfer Center. But for you, you have a Porta advisor. So your Porta advisor, Alma's name will be here, as well as your faculty advisor for the major that you are in. One thing to always look at too is we're going to cover this on the morning of July 1st, is exactly how to register for classes. But to kind of give you a sneak peek of it, in case you want to spend time looking at it, a big chunk of how we're going to do it is we're going to be using Siebel Scheduler, okay? So stop sharing. How many of you have heard of Siebel Scheduler? Or have used it? Or just looked at it? How many of you have looked at it before? Perfect. Okay, that means I'm going to go through a little bit, okay? No, this is great because I want to make sure that you have the chance to look at it and kind of get yourself familiarized with it so that come Wednesday, I can review it one more time and then you can get started at building your schedule. So the SeaWorld scheduler lives in your student center, so you can access it through here. So we're going to open SeaWorld scheduler. And it's going to look like this, okay? Ooh, okay, it's gonna look like this. And this is really like a scheduling tool that we use for students, especially when they're planning out each semester. So for us here, as we can see, Sally is already in Bio 110 and English 100A, but ultimately, this is how you build your schedule. So for here, I always like to do course status. For you, it might just show open classes only. So that only restricts you to classes that are still available. But sometimes some of the classes that you want might be full. So then you want to make sure that you try to put yourself on a wait list, right? The goal for us on Wednesday is not to put yourself in any classes that are waitlisted, but this allows us to kind of see the bigger picture of what classes are still available. So I'm going to save it for that so that it shows me that. Make sure the term is fall 2020. And then we go here to add courses. Okay, again, like it's going to give you by subject, search by course attribute, my degree planner. We're really going to be searching only by subject and search by course attribute. Okay, so an example of subject would be, I mentioned biochemistry earlier. If you let's see here, is that a good one? Actually, let's go English. If you see that you're not enrolled in English, for example, and you know that you need English 101, then it's as simple as typing in English, clicking in that one, and then choosing, there's a few options here, but of course the one that we want is 101. That's the one that you want. And then it pulls up some description here so you can read what the class is going to be about. And you can also see what GE area it satisfies, okay? And this is telling me that it satisfies A2, written communication. You also need a C- or better to get that credit. And then you want to add the course and it populates on the right side here. And then you can go in and type in another class that you need. So we look at math. So for math, I know that Jodeci says she needed CCJS earlier. CCJS I don't think they required a specific math, but then the one that students typically take that is a good safety is stats. Okay, and if you do that, again, shows us what we need to know. You also need a C- or better in math to get that GE credit, and then you can add the course. Okay, now here's the thing though, is that you'll notice that some of you are going to be registered for either a standalone 165 class, for example, or 165A. You'll see the 165A-B combo, and that means it's just stretch math. And so instead of taking it within one semester, you're taking that class in 2 semesters. So they're splitting up in half. And the reason why they do that is really to just give that extra support for students who need that support in math, okay? So you're gonna see this for both math and English. So there's some students that might need English 100A, which is a stretch English, and then the math one, and then English 101, which is the semester English. And I believe all of you are going to be in English 101. And then as for the math, it's gonna vary based on what you took in high school, your test scores, and the last math class that you took. It's a lot of things that they take into consideration to put you into the right math class that's the right fit for you, okay? And if we do that, we're just gonna put these, I'm gonna take away English 101, and I'm just gonna add one more. So let's add in, let's see here, another subject. So let's add one more class, and let me show you how to do it for this one. Search by course attribute. So when they say course attribute, it's relating to the GE areas. And we cover this during the GE degree requirements when we mention like the area A, which is these ones, the area B, the area C, area E is here. We have some B's here. Again, it doesn't look the most, it doesn't, it's a little, it looks like it's everywhere, but there's a particular reason for that. Area D1 to D5, that's just area D for you. And you could pick any one of the classes in these areas here. And then you can also filter it by like lower division or upper division courses. So for this one, I know that I need an A1 course. So I'm just gonna click A1, which is oral communication. And then I will choose, let's see here, AMCS 125, okay? which is our multicultural conversations. I'm going to add this course here. So I have 4 courses right now on my schedule. So I'm going to go back, and now you see them here, right? They're on the left side here. So then now I'm going to go to generate schedule. And it's going to tell me that there's 810 schedules here that are available for me to view. That's a lot of different options that you have. And that is because if you click here on a section, you're going to see that there's certain sections that are still available. So for this one, there's no more seats open. So I can uncheck that. And then just because, I don't want to take the classes that are no longer available, Bio 110, if you check that, just multiple options here. And some of these are waitlisted. So if you only want the ones that are still available, then you want to make sure you check this one, okay? Go back here, there's multiple sections for English, which is why 810 schedule pops up. Math 165, same thing, okay? So this is where the breaks comes in, all right? So the breaks is for like, if you know for sure that you work during certain hours, then you want to go in and create a break time for yourself. So I'm going to label this work. And then you want to make sure that you put the times that you do not want to have classes in. So for example, let's say I have a morning shift and I work from 8 a.m. to maybe like maybe 12 p.m. And I only do have that schedule maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm going to add this break. So now it's here. So I'm going to go back to generate schedule, and it's going to tell me that all sections of Bio 110 conflict with my work schedule. So if you see that, then you know that, okay, if work is something that I know I have to do, then I have to change Bio 110 to a different course. And that's when you can go back and add a course and delete the course and all of that, okay? So this is the gist of SIBO Scheduler. I'm gonna make sure that on Wednesday you get a chance to really play with this. Again, if you get a chance to already, make sure that you start familiarizing yourself with this scheduler, so that on July 1st, and it will just be, having me check in with your schedule to see if it makes sense. So this is SIBO Scheduler. So this is the tool that you use to help you create your schedule, but this is not how you register for classes, okay? What's happening here is that after you're done with this one, you have to import your schedule here back to here. And on Wednesday, I'll help show you how to do that. All right. So this is one way. This is how we're gonna create our schedule on Wednesday. Questions? Any questions for me? Skylar, how can I set up an enrollment appointment with me? Yeah, so go ahead and set it up with me. So I will resend this to you. I have created a sign-up sheet for one-on-one advising, and I can resend this to you after our session today, just so that you have access to it. I sent it out earlier. I see that I think 2 of you have signed up already, but I'll send it out so that you can sign up with me one-on-one. There is a financial aid workshop from 2 to 3 today that I want us all to attend, because I think they're going to have a lot of good information for all of us. So I blocked out the hour from 2 to 3. I blocked it out from 2 to 3 so that we can attend the financial aid, and I'll be back on from 3 to 5. Okay, Jodeci, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
So like, when do we start setting up all of like our courses and enrollment things? Is it the 2nd?
So the registration is actually the 1st. So on Wednesday, yeah. So on the first, that's when we are registering. Okay. And then, so then if you want to start playing with your schedule even today, now, you can do so. And if you have any questions, at least it gives us time to still talk it out, to figure out a schedule that works for you, and before Wednesday. But here's the thing about Wednesday, though, is that we reserve pretty much the whole day for registration and questions. So even if we don't touch base, if we're unable to touch base within Monday and Tuesday, let's touch base on Wednesday for sure, because the registration for all of you is at 2 p.m. So I'm going to share the Canvas page just to give you all an idea of what registration day is going to look like. I think that's going to answer a lot of questions. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going back to the Canvas page here. So this is today. So as you can see, we have our advising session today, and then you have class from 10 to 11:50, and then bridge leader, and then we have a one-on-one from 1 to 5, and then Hutchins majors, you have a one-on-one advising for Hutchins major from 1 to 1:30 today. So if you are interested in Hutchins or in Hutchins, make sure you attend that one. And then we also have our QSA, or the Queer Faculty Staff Association, and Queer Student Alliance Student Club mixture today for 1 to 2. So definitely check it out as well. And then from 2 to 3, this is the financial aid workshop. And you all should have received an email from Summer Bridge regarding the links to the Zoom room. They're not going to post it here. So make sure you check your emails, but I will be attending one of these workshops as well. And I really highly encourage all of you to attend it as well, especially if you have questions regarding your financial aid. And then these are the things that you complete on your own time. And then let me go to Tuesday. We won't be meeting at 9 a.m. together, but there is a financial aid estimated budget worksheet session, which again, I encourage all of you to review, because this is when they really go into details about, your financial aid and how much tuition costs, and really looking at it in terms of you as a student and how your financial is going to look like, and how your financial aid will cover certain things, and really looking at the budget. Okay, so I really encourage y'all to go to this one. And then from there, y'all have class, and then bridge leader breakout, 101 Hutchins, again, 101:30. We have our, Native and Indigenous student cohort gathering from 1 to 2. And then this is an also important one. From 2 to 3 p.m., we have a School of Science and Technology drop-in advising. This person, her name is Dr. Dorico. She is an advisor from the School of Science and Technology. So if you are a major in the School of Science and Technology, for example, if you are a math major, EE major, Chem major, bio major, or anything that's like School of Science and Technology, you want a different perspective and you want to see what they recommend, then please go to her drop-in advising session. She is very phenomenal and very well versed in the different sequences when it comes to the STEM majors. So she's going to be here, and I really encourage y'all to go to her, especially if you have questions surrounding your science and tech majors. And then again, we have a financial aid advisor representative drop-in from 1 to 5 p.m. Again, this is more after you cover the financial aid piece already. You still have additional questions. This is an opportunity for you to meet with them one-on-one to look at your financial aid package specifically, okay? And then during that same time, then I'll have an advising session as well. We can meet as well. And it looks like there's a Nickelodeon trivia. That sounds really fun. And then housing. Okay, so now registration. I didn't think I was going to go over the next 3 days, but I think it's really important for us to know what to anticipate. We're going to have a morning session here. 9 to 9:50. We're still going to meet like this at 9 in the morning. And on this day, I'm going to cover CWIF scheduler a little bit today already, but I'm going to just kind of review it and then show you how to import it to your cart. And on this day as well, I'm going to show you another way to look at your schedule, how to look for different classes, because ultimately there are 2 ways to register, and the CWIF scheduler is just one way, but there's another way that I think will be useful as well. And then right after, from 10 to pretty much 2, 10 to 11:50, or 10 to 12, it's going to be one-on-one for me. Okay, as you see here, it's going to be a different Zoom, because this personal ID number is for my personal Zoom link. The one that I sent here is a different one, but this is my personal one, so we're going to be using a different Zoom link, okay? You're going to jump from this Zoom link to this one at 10, and then for this one, both Linda and Emily are going to be helping me to navigate how to do breakout sessions, so that if you have questions with me one-on-one, then during the 10 to 11:50 hour and the 1 to 1:50 hour, we can meet one-on-one to talk about your schedule specifically. But hopefully at this point already, you already have a clear idea what classes you want to take, and you already have a schedule in place. And maybe I'm just answering some questions. But ultimately, during these hours here, I will be in the Zoom link. I won't be leaving the Zoom link. You don't have to be in the Zoom link from the whole 3 hours. But know that if you have any questions along the way, that you can always jump back into the Zoom link, okay? And then at the same time, again, Dr. DeRico is going to be having drop-in advising. So if you have any questions, her hours are here. And then after that, we're going to have like a 1 hour lunch break, and then registration officially starts at 2. and we're going to be going back to the Zoom link that we were in previously. And this is really just another, at 2, you're going to be registering, okay? And then we'll be in a Zoom room together so that if you have any questions, you can pop in and ask me those questions, okay? So it's going to be 2 hours of just registration, 2 hours of potentially answering questions for all of you, but know that I'll be here to support you. And then Hutchins, you'll be in a different Zoom link. You'll be from 2 to 4, you'll be with the Hutchins registration with Donna Gabesi, who's the advisor for that. Okay, I know this was a lot. So questions for me. Do we feel like we have a good understanding of what to anticipate? Go ahead, Jodeci.
What happened?
Oh, sorry, I saw your hand raised, so I was just, go ahead if you have questions.
I don't know how to turn that off. Is it still up there? It's still up there?
Yeah. Oh, you're good though?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I? Oh, ha. Got it.
Got it. Okay. Anyone else? What questions do you have for me? I know that we kind of covered quite a few things today, so I want to make sure that I leave room for questions for all of you. AP scores comes out on the 15th. Okay, good question. Okay, so that's really good to know. So if AP scores comes out on July 15th, that's okay. I still want you to register for the classes that you are assigned in, so for that math or English course still. And then when it comes to your AP scores, once it gets here on the 15th, I want you to let, let's see here, that's after bridge. Let me know as soon as you can, because then we want to go in later to drop you from those courses and add you to the courses that you need. Okay, so just to kind of give you a little timeline of what to anticipate, let me pull this up. Just a regular calendar. Okay. So this is good for all of us to know too. Okay. So I'm sure y'all have heard that because Summer Bridge, y'all are the first incoming freshmen that are registering, okay? You all are the first ones to register. So you are registering on the first here, and then you only have that 2 to 4 p.m. hour to register. And then once the 4 p.m. hits, then the registration closes, and that's your schedule that can be a potential schedule for the semester, okay? Now, here's the thing though, it closes here, but there's gonna be opportunities for you to change your schedule later on. So Summer Bridge ends here. So once the 15th is on this Wednesday, and this is when you get your AP scores, the next time that you can change your schedule is on the 20th, okay? So this is an important date to mark down, and hopefully by then, all of you have received your AP scores, so you'll know exactly what classes that you need to add or drop. So on the 20th, that's when you can go back into your schedule and add or drop or swap your courses, okay? So Irving, that's when you'll be able to go in and make those changes. Let's see. Okay. Does that answer your question, Irving? And yes, Valerie, the only registration time is at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. between those 2 hours. Can I change the time in the pre-enrolled classes? For the EDEC 160A one, not really, because they're more strict on that one, only because it's cohort based. So they want to make sure that they put you into this cohort. Now, if you really have challenges with that time, let me know, and I'm gonna reach out to Erica Millican, who can kind of talk us through the process of doing that. Now, in terms of the math and English, all of you, it's not cohort based, meaning that you're not taking it together as a group. So if there's really challenges in the math and English section that you are enrolled in, then I believe you will have opportunities to change it during registration day. So I will get more information on that probably tomorrow when I meet with the bigger group of advisors. We're going to talk about all of this. So there's going to be opportunities for you to change your schedule for that. But here's the thing though, I kind of just want to throw this out, is that all of you are going to be online this session. And so that's going to really, the timings are going to be different depending on if your classes are asynchronous or synchronous, right? And I know that you've all heard that terminology been throwing out this whole 7 days that you've been here with us. It's the whole asynchronous versus synchronous courses. So one thing we want to check is that whether or not your English or math and your EDEC, whether or not they're asynchronous, right? Because if they are asynchronous, that just means that even though it has a time, you're not expected to meet during that time. It's more individual work that you do on your own time. Now, if it specifically say that it's a synchronous course, that means that you have to be online during that time block that you are registered in. But again, like we mentioned earlier, we don't have an answer for you regarding which classes are synchronous or asynchronous, because right now they left it up to the instructor to make that decision. And so it's hard for me to tell you whether or not you should keep this class, change the timing or not, because sometimes you might not need to change the timing because your classes are asynchronous, which means that you're not going to be meeting during that time anyways. But again, it's tricky because if they don't say that, then we don't know. And so my hope is that when you register for courses, they're going to notify us whether or not those courses are synchronous or asynchronous. And one way to view that is, let's see here. I'm throwing a bunch of things at you again, okay? I know this is a lot of information to take in, especially regarding registration. But again, I don't expect you to understand this right away. Know that I'm here to support you. Know that Linda and Emily are here to answer questions should you have questions surrounding it. But as we're talking about synchronous and asynchronous, I really want to look to see if they've already, do I have that somewhere else? If they've already shared that information. See what schedule is here. Okay. I apologize. I keep sharing an unsharing screen, and the big part of it is really because of information that I can't have you see. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to look at, let's see, does it say here? Because we're going to be using a lot of this. So I want to look at AMCS 125 again. Does it mention anything about it? No, it does not mention it here. So I wonder if it mentions it here. So I'm going to go back to Sally Sonoma. So this is just a sneak peek of a different way to search for courses. But I want to see if they mention anything else. Let's see here. Oral communication. No, it doesn't say it. Okay. It's not going to say it yet. Okay. But ultimately, if it should tell you somewhere around here whether or not it's asynchronous or synchronous. But as you can see here, it doesn't say it yet. So I'm hoping they're going to update that information. But yes, again, that's a big part of it. It's figuring out if your instructors are going to require you to be in front of the computer during the specific time. Other questions? Again, if you see that you are not pre-registered or pre-enrolled in any courses, I think the best thing right now is to shoot me an email, send me an email so that I know, so that I can look into your specific student center and see what's going on, and then be able to send that information to Erica so we can try to get you registered for those courses. How do we change our address on the student center? Mine is the wrong address. Great question. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to share screen. Let's go back to class search. And I'm gonna go back to Sally Sonoma. So you can change your schedule here on your student center. And you wanna go down here you should see here something, I don't even I can't even show you here, but on personal information, you should be able to click in and be able to click on your address and make edits here. But this is where you would do it. If I click emergency contact, it's just going to take me to this page here. But for you, it should say something different. I don't know if that helps you, but it will be here and you'll be able to click into it and make edits. Does that help, Valerie? I think on your end, you should be able to see like an edit or a section that says.
I know I'm trying to do it, but it's really weird because it's not showing the personal information. It kind of just shows all my classes, but.
Okay. Why won't we meet later to see what's going on, okay? And we can make those edits.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so then if it's saying that you do not have an advisor yet, that just means that it's just updating right now. But for sure, for all of you, your advisor will be Porta, your Porta advisor will be Alma Sanchez. And then your faculty, again, is going to be based on the major that you have. What other questions do I have? Do we all have? You're welcome. Okay, so some of you, for Natalie, your advisor is Mackenzie DePay, meaning that that's your bio advisor. So if you don't recognize the name, that is the advisor from your department. And again, your advisor from your department, you can always feel free to reach out to them as well if you have any questions specific to your major. Okay, so I know that a lot of you probably have very specific questions about your own schedule. So please come and see me please sign up for the drop-in, for my drop-in schedule, and I will make sure I send it out again to all of you after conversation so you can sign up. If there's no available time, that's okay, because like I mentioned earlier, on Wednesday from that 10 to 12 hour, it's going to also be a drop-in. So I'll be able to answer your questions on Wednesday as well. And of course, feel free to always email me and I'll make sure that I respond to you as soon as I can, okay? Okay, so that was a lot of information that I shared today. A lot of information, probably more than you probably thought you would have. So how are you all feeling in the chat? Like, this is knowing that registration is around the corner. Tell me, how are you feeling about it? Go ahead and put it in the group chat. Okay, scared, good, stressful. Way better understanding, good. Overwhelmed, yes, overwhelmed for sure. Okay. I see a lot of stressed and scared and overwhelmed, and of course, I don't mean to put that on you, but definitely know that you are not alone in this, and that both Emily, Linda, and I are here to support you to make sure that this registration process goes as easily as possible. Okay. And again, we're going to try our best to put you in the classes that you need for your first year. And even if you're not registered for any classes right now, know that it's only temporary and that we're going to make sure that you get registered regardless, even if you see that you're not pre-enrolled in any classes, okay? So take the time now that you have to kind of go through SeaWolf Scheduler, kind of see what classes are available for you pertaining to your major. Make a side note that you should be in EDEC 160A Math and English, so that you can start playing around with that schedule and start adding courses to your schedule around those 3 courses that you should already be pre-enrolled in. And then for my one-on-ones, we'll look at your schedules more specifically and start looking into your majors more specifically so that you know exactly what classes you are enrolling in. Because at the end of the day, looking at your schedule, you're only registering for about 1 or 2 courses. You're not registering for 5 courses because you should all be pre-enrolled in 3 already. And we'll make sure that we cover that if you're not. And I'll help you through that process, okay? So I'm glad you found it, Valerie, a way to change your schedule and change your address. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that because I know we're at the 10-minute mark now. So should you have any questions, again, you know how to reach me. I won't see you tomorrow, but I know that there's quite a few workshops that I want to make sure that you attend, such as the financial aid ones. Make sure you attend those ones. And then on Wednesday morning, that's when I'll be with you all day. So know that I'm here to support you all day on Wednesday during registration, okay? And then with that said, if I don't have any last minute questions, I'll make sure that you get your 10-minute break before your next session. Okay, we're good to go, thumbs up? Okay, well, good to see all of you. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to pass it over to Carol, who will cover the next session, and then I'll make her the host, and then I'm going to leave the session. So good to see all of you. Take care.
Hi, folks. Get your coffee, take a break, do some stretching. See you in 10. I make that 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Hi, everybody. Somebody unmute themselves and say hi.
Good morning.
Yay, thank you. Okay, so stuff's a little confusing today, so I wanted to be real clear about it. There's something else I need to be real clear about. I just sent an email. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. is the absolute deadline for any assignment for analytical thinking portion. Now, I'm not telling you that to freak you out. Okay, if you find that you're overwhelmed and you're saying, well, okay, I'm done with this. I can't work on this anymore. That's okay. Okay, give me what you have. So I would rather have something half finished before 11:59 tomorrow night than nothing. Okay, half finished is okay. None at all is not as good as half finished. So I'm hoping that everybody's going to feel great and they're going to have their perfect final thing ready before 11:59 tomorrow night. But if it's not perfect, I'd rather have it not perfect than not at all. Okay, so I just wanted to be really clear about that. So here's how today goes. Either I'll make you break out groups if you ask me to, or you can go offline with your own messaging or whatever, and really quickly put together a rough draft of a slideshow of your research. There is a template if you want it. You don't have to use it. It's in when you click today's homework, it's in there. But you're going to have your rough draft uploaded by 11 o'clock, even if you're not happy with it yet. Then at 11:05, automatically the computer is going to say, you have 3 peer reviews. So you're going to look at 3 other people's work. If you accidentally get assigned your own work, that's okay. That means you get a little bit more time to think about it. Okay, so don't worry about if you accidentally get assigned your own work. It's okay. Now you're going to give specific feedback. Okay, here's an example of feedback that's not specific. That's really great. Now I do that sometimes, right? I'll say, that's really great, but that's not specific enough. You have to say, okay, I really like the way you did thus and such. I think this box plot was a good choice, or a pie chart was a good choice, or I like your colors. Also, you can have a question. Wait a minute, I don't understand this. I don't understand what that means. Okay, but be really specific. That's what you're looking for. Now, it would be great if that could be done by 11:50 this morning. If it can't, you have until tonight. Then you're going to sign up for office hours. There's a Google spreadsheet. And in my office hours today or tomorrow, at the time slot you sign up for, your group is going to show me your presentation and I'm going to give you some specific feedback. Then by tomorrow night, your final, perfect, beautiful, as good as you can make it presentation will get uploaded. Questions? So I'm going to stop screen sharing so I can see your questions. Any questions with any of that? I'm going to call on somebody and I'm going to ask permission to ask you, okay? And what I'm going to ask you is, what are you doing? What are you doing is you're making as good a slideshow as you can by 11 o'clock and uploading it. And then after 11 o'clock, you're referring to you're reviewing each other's slideshows. So I'm going to call on, Skylar. Okay, Skylar, give me a thumb up if it's okay for me to call on you. Not seeing a response. Okay, Patricia or Patricia, is it okay if I call on you? Give me a thumb up if it's okay if I call on you. I should say thumb up or oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so Patricia, go ahead and unmute, and here's what I'm gonna ask you. What are we doing? Okay, and if you want me to repeat it, I will, but then I'm gonna ask you to repeat it. So go ahead and unmute.
So we're just gonna make a presentation with our groups as good as we can by 11, I think, and then we're gonna do peer review at 11:05.
Right, beautiful, perfect, thank you. Patty, I see that your name has changed to Patty. So everybody go ahead and do that. Email me or message me if you run into trouble. Let's check back in at 11 o'clock. Go be brilliant. Because I'm going to be looking for you in my email and stuff, if you have a question, just unmute your mic and shout it out. I'll hear you, but I won't be able to see you because I'll be looking for you in my email. So if you have a question, just unmute and shout.
Can you please put me and Roxana in a breakout room?
You betcha. Let's see. Patty and Roxana?
No, Anastasia.
Anastasia and Roxana, thank you. Anastasia and Patty. See if that worked.
I think she said Roxana, not Patty. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Oh. I'm not very good at this. Okay, Anastasia and Roxana. Did I get it? Okay, Roxana. I'm going to delete that one. Okay. Let's see if that worked. If anybody else would like me to put you in a breakout room, give me a holler and I would be happy to do so. Natalie and Audrey and Irving. Irving, Natalie, and Audrey. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay. Irving, Audrey, and Natalie. Let's double check that I just did that. Irving, Natalie, and Audrey. Okay. Whoops. Unfortunately, this is a slow process. I want to create a room. Oh. I don't know how to. Oh, here we go. No. Okay. Now that I've made one room, I don't know how to make another room. Is either Emily or Linda around? Do you know how to make more rooms?
I do not know. I'm also very new to like hosting, so.
Right. Yeah, I don't see how to make another room. Okay, so the other people have requested me to make a room. I apologize, I can't figure out how to do it. So, but maybe you could send private chats to each other and possibly work that way.
Also, Carol, Patricia, Patty, and Julissa are not in a group because they weren't here last class session.
Yeah.
So what should they do about that?
Okay, well, they're here now. So be a group with each other. Okay. You said Patty and Julissa, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so Patty and Julissa, you can be together and I'm going to give you a question based on the data, and you can find the data in earlier homework. And your question is going to be, what is the relationship between the, is there any relationship, and there may not be, but is there any relationship that you can see between what people say their major is going to be and what clubs they might be interested in? And if that's not interesting, I'm going to give you a third one, and you can compare any two of these three. What they say their major is going to be, what clubs they thought they might be interested in, and why they chose Sonoma State. So look at those three things and then pick two of them. And you don't even have to pick two of them. You could pick one of them, okay? Say, oh yeah, this proportion says this proportion says that, okay? So you could pick one or two of those. So why you chose SSU, what you think your major is going to be, and what clubs you're interested in. And you could pick any one or any two of those three. Okay. Thumb up, Julissa and Patty. Okay. Good. Yeah, Mary Lou. Oh, you won't have any peer presentations until after 11 because nobody's uploaded them yet. Okay. The review will not happen until 11:05. So right now you're working on your presentation. You won't be working on peer reviews until later. Okay, Skylar and Mary Lou, I'm going to put you together. Skylar and Mary Lou, I'm going to give you the same thing I just gave you, Lisa and Patty, because it won't be the same. You won't come up with the same thing. So Skylar, work with you. Skylar and Mary Lou, work together, please. Look at those three variables. Why did you choose SSU? What clubs are you interested in? What major might you be in? And then pick any one or any two of those and compare them. And where that data is in the earlier homework. So Skylar and Mary Lou, do you understand what you're going to do? I need a thumb up from Skylar and or Mary Lou. Good. And I'll put that in message too.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So a couple minutes ago, you posted a screen with a statement, bar. Are you able to post that again so we can look at it and see what we had to
do?
You bet. That'll give me a sec. Whoops, I need to screen share. Screen share. How's that? I'll make it bigger.
So I have a question. Do we have to use the data that you sent to us originally? You're muted. I can't hear you.
I think she's telling you to wait up.
Okay. I couldn't reach the unmute because of the screen share. Okay. So that was a very good question. Okay. The data that you have to use is in a great big file that is in your homework for probably day 3. I'm not sure it's day 3, but it included data that you did on yourself, your heart rate and stuff. Okay. And it also included, we made some questions together in class, and that got turned into a survey. And you answered the survey, it had things about, how many pets you had and your shoe size and stuff like that. Okay. And that link was in there. Now, if you can't find the link, I will get out of this and go find the link and post it. Okay. But that's the data that you're using. Okay. Now, which data, you get to pick, because there were like 50 different questions. So you don't have to use all 50. You're only going to pick 1 or 2. Okay. Did that answer the question? Can I post it? Yes. That's going to take me a minute.
Just post it, please?
Okay. Patty, was that you that you want me to post it?
Yeah, Julissa and I just want you to post it. It'll be a little bit easier for us.
Yeah, it'll take me a second. Okay, I'm gonna have to find it and get it, but I will put it in the chat box, but it's gonna take me a minute. Okay, I just put it in the chat box. Okay. Okay, I'm going back to mute now. If you need anything, holler. Hi, I just got a great question about where to submit the slides. I'm going to give me a second and I'm going to post the answer to that in the group chat. Okay, I'm going to talk through it and then I'm going to put it in the group chat. When you're in day 6, click here to start day 6. When you click there and you go down to 10:30 to 11:50, it says quantitative reasoning workshop. And then it says to access your quantitative reasoning cohort, click here. So I'm going to click there. Not the Zoom click, but the other click. And then you get topic, presentation of research and analysis, do it, upload your final presentation, which actually means your rough draft. And here's a click right here. Okay, so I'm going to click that and it says it's due by 10 a.m. And okay, okay, so, and then, hello. This file must be uploaded. I'm looking at teacher view. Okay. And anyway, when you, there should be a place right there where you are allowed to upload it. And I'm looking at the teacher view. Give me a holler if that doesn't work out. And I'm going to put that in the chat. Does only one person of the group have to turn it in? That's a really good question. On the one hand, it's kind of silly to turn it in over and over again. But on the other hand, everybody's responsible for a peer review. So yes, even though it feels silly for everybody to upload the same thing, do it anyway, because that's the way you get to do a peer review. So yes, everybody should upload it, even though the same thing gets uploaded 2 and 3 times. Good question. and it's break time if you need a break. Since people are working kind of together, you can kind of decide for yourself when it's break time, but officially it's break time. I see that the PowerPoints are pouring in. Good job. So hi again. At 11:05, Canvas ought to start assigning you peer reviews. We've already got some slideshows. That's great. If you're not, don't feel freaked out. Okay. I mean, yes, it was due at 11 o'clock, but don't feel freaked out. If you're done, hopefully in a couple minutes you'll be assigned some peer reviews. If you're not, don't freak out. Just get as good a rough draft as you can, as soon as you can, so that people can start reviewing them. I'll check back in a few minutes. Hello. I know some of you have already uploaded. Good job. Is there anybody who has tried to upload and has had a problem? Give me a thumb up or a shout. Okay. I'm not seeing any problems because I don't know if anybody's actually here. Somebody who has uploaded, could you check if you've been assigned a peer review? Yay, okay, great. So excellent. When you've finished uploading and you've finished your peer reviews, you can kind of, take it easy. You are going to go for a final draft at some point, but you probably want to sign up to talk with me first in my office hours, which are from 1 to 2 today and 1 to 2 again tomorrow. I'm going to leave this room open, but if you've done all that stuff, you can leave now if you want to. Or you can keep working if you need to keep working. And if you need anything, unmute yourself and holler. Okay? Okay. I'm going to mute myself. Thank you. Thank you, Amy.
How do you know what groups were assigned to for the peer review?
Okay, the question was how do you know what groups you're assigned for peer review? Peer review is individual. Okay, so Canvas should automatically give you let me unvideo myself. Okay, Canvas should just assign it to you. It should appear in your to-do list. Now, more people have turned stuff in than have, I mean, there's a lag, okay? So some people turned some stuff in, and then those people got assigned to somebody. But then some more people turned some stuff in, but then they haven't been assigned yet. So there's a lag. So I'm going to try to, if you never get assigned to peer review, you're not in trouble. But check back a little later to see if you get assigned one a little later. Do you feel answered? Okay, cool. And I'm gonna go and see if I can be on top of this. Once you feel like you've finished working, it's okay if you don't stay here. Or you can, pretend to be here. It's okay. But this time is for working on your stuff. And when your stuff is done, you don't actually have to stay.
A quick question.
Go ahead.
What happens if we get a group member? Because we share the same slides, should I still put notes on it?
Could you say that again, please?
What happens when we get a group member? who shares the same slide, should I still review it?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, because if you, yeah, if so more than one person is going to, if you're in a group, more than one person is going to submit exactly the same slideshow, and that's okay. And more than one person might end up reviewing the same slideshow, and that's also okay. This is kind of new way of doing things. If you had handed me a piece of paper, I could have handed you back somebody else's piece of paper, right? Since the computer's doing it automatically, don't worry about it that people are saying the same thing twice. It's okay, because you may be saying it in slightly different ways. Did that answer the question, or is there something else that's concerning?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question. um, so you said that there's a lag to the peer review getting assigned, and I've been waiting for like 10 minutes and it still hasn't gotten put in my to-do yet. So I don't know if that means that I can't do it, or if it's just taking a lot longer than I thought it would.
Well, say hello to your kitty for me. And what I'm going to say is, if you haven't been assigned to peer review, we're just going to say it's not working. Okay, so I'm just going to say, don't worry about it. You couldn't get a peer review. You're not being penalized. You still have to get reviewed by me. Okay, but it would be nice if you could do a peer review, but you know, we're just going to leave it. So don't keep staring at your screen. If you feel like coming back in an hour and looking, go ahead. But if you just want to let it go, I'm going to say let it go. It's all good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you bet. That's better. Okay, it's 11:50. If you're still here, you can take a break now and go to your breakout session at 12 o'clock. If you have been unable to get peer reviews, don't worry about it. Well, you're forgiven. If you're forgiven if you were not assigned to peer reviews. Have a great day, and I'm ending this meeting now.